Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. Let me see something here. In boxing, you find a way to win, you find a way to lose. That's better. How you guys doing? Hopefully everyone is fine. Let me tell you something, man. Today is going to be a good day with boxing. I had a video I wanted to do. I didn't get to it yesterday. I'm dropping it right now. I think it's important that we talk about why Brian Norman Jr. I have him winning. But just to be fair, I'm going to say why he may defeat Devin Haney. I think he beats him, though. I think he knocks Devin Haney out. The bottom line is a crossroads fight, okay? Brian Norman Jr., Devin Haney, I think it's a psychological test, a style clash, and it's definitely going to be a career-defining moment for both men. But when you take a look at the recent performances, like I've been talking about, mental state, durability, stylistic pressures, I mean, it just becomes increasingly clear why most boxing analysts, not us doing YouTube, right? I'm talking about the quote-unquote experts, why they believe Brian Norman Jr. has the tools to pull off the upset. Now, Devin Haney, you got to be fair, right? Devin Haney is very vulnerable physically, emotionally, stylistically. Then you look at Norman, is entering the ring hungry, dangerous, psychologically consistent. His dad raised him a way to be mentally tough. And that's what Devin is not, and that's what Devin's going to learn tonight. This dynamic alone sets the stage for what could be Devin Haney's most difficult night. I think it is. I think he loses, okay? Now, we already talked about the uncertainty with Devin, the confidence of Brian Norman Jr., and we talked about everything that he's gone through after, he fought Ryan Garcia. The one thing I want to say, I don't care that, we all know Ryan, what he did to Devin, right? I'm not here to keep talking about that. But what I do want to point out is before the Ryan Garcia fight, Devin Haney fought with a clear identity. Distance control, jab first boxing, safety first navigation, and elite discipline. All I'm going to say is when he was getting rocked and hurt, I believe 100% his identity has been fractured. Okay? I think Ryan Garcia explodes the Haney blueprint, and he showed fighters what you do, what you have to do to beat Devin. If you pressure him hard enough, hit him clean enough and take away his rhythm, he will become hesitant and defensive. Okay? Since then, Devin went inactive, then he came back fighting like a man trying to rediscover himself against Ramirez instead of a man who knows who he is. And I still think he's kind of in that transitioning stage from who he was to trying to figure out who he is and trying to get back to who he was. But I just think the fight with Brian Norman Jr. isn't going to do anything but cause him to take several steps backwards, and Devin will never, ever be the same. I don't know if his timing is going to be on. I don't know if his confidence, if he really has any confidence going into this fight. And I don't know if he's going to be willing to engage. That's why in about 3-4 hours, we'll get to see. But I'm dropping the video anyway. And these are the cracks that a guy like Brian Norman Jr., who's aggressive, physical, and confident, can split wide open. Let me tell you something, man. This is a really, really good fight. Now, about Brian Norman Jr., another reason why I think he's going to win, he's not intimidated. You know what I mean? He's not impressed by Haney's belts, his resume, which they keep talking about, his fame, the fact that, a lot of people want him to win doesn't mean he's going to. He's not the betting favorite. But he doesn't care. That alone is dangerous. Norman walks into the ring with a natural confidence that isn't manufactured or performative. Haney's a guy who, he has what I think people would call compensatory behavior, extra energy, unusual movement, and forced bravado, overcompensation, which is what I was talking about yesterday. And that's the shit you've been seeing, the fight build up, especially yesterday during the face-off and everything. Devin isn't comfortable, man. And you just watch Norman, his calm, how still he is. compared to Devin Haney's shakiest gun in the West. Don Knotts shit. Nervous energy. I'm just telling you, I just think the psychological control goes to Brian Norman Jr., man. You see, fighters who stay emotionally level, they absorb pressure better. They make clearer decisions. They stay present in the fight. Those are the fighters that are harder to break. That's Brian Norman Jr. And that's what's going to be interesting because Devin Haney, he is elite when he dictates the distance and tempo. If he can do that against Brian Norman Jr., Devin is still going to be elite. But I just don't know if he can do it. But if he's able to do it early, I don't know if he can sustain it. That's the problem. Because Devin struggles dramatically when he's facing fighters who refuse to let him set the rhythm. Norman is exactly that type of fighter. Relentless pressure, hard shots, unpredictable angles, and an ability to close distance without smothering his own work. And he has improved his cutting the ring off where he takes, fewer steps to get to cut the ring off and trap his opponents. And all of this is going to show up tonight. Let me tell you something. If I know what troubles Haney, I know Brian Norman Jr. and his dad does. Forward pressure. Haney doesn't like that. Aggression that breaks his rhythm. He doesn't like that. Power that makes him afraid to punch. Haney doesn't like that. Fighters who don't give him space to reset. Devin Haney can't handle that. Opponents who counter his jab and opponents who attack his body. Norman checks every single box. Every single box. So I don't understand how people are just counting Norman out. That's ridiculous to me. Especially when you think about Devin Haney's chin and his ability to recover. You know what I mean? Ryan Garcia, he did expose Haney's chin, but I already knew Devin was chinny. You know what I'm saying? He can be hurt. And he poorly recovers after being hurt. Once Haney is rattled, not only does he fall apart technically, his corner falls apart. His dad doesn't know what to do. Beijing Bill loses his damn mind because he doesn't know what to tell his son because he didn't train his son. He didn't develop his son. He had other trainers groom his son and develop his son. He didn't do it. He was just the project manager. That's all. You watch Devin clinching excessively. If he gets hurt, he's gonna stop jabbing, stop taking risks. He's gonna stiffen up, becomes predictable, won't be able to counter anymore, and his legs start to go under pressure, man. And I'm telling you right now, although Ryan Garcia was on the juice, Norman is a harder puncher than Ryan Garcia. And unlike Ryan, he doesn't waste shots when he commits. Let me tell you, if Norman hurts Haney early, the fight could change instantly and permanently. Matter of fact, I think it will change. You watch Norman Jr., man. The dude got silent weapons. Devin Haney doesn't want to get hit to the body. He reacts visibly to them in every fight. Every fight. If someone goes to Devin's body, watch how he reacts. Doesn't like it. Nobody likes it. But Devin in particular can't handle it. And Norman's one of the better body punchers at 147. He makes hooks, uppercuts, and digging lefts to the ribs when pressing forward. And this matters for, two reasons in particular. Body shots will drain Haney's legs, which he needs to survive. And they force Haney to fight, which he does not want to do with Norman. He does not want to fight. So if Norman can successfully invest early, Haney's mobility and clinch effectiveness will disappear. And that's what they could be gunning for. But they got to be careful because Haney can counter him too. But the one thing about Haney that I got to be concerned with is if I was betting on him, which I'm not, is Devin Haney is strong for 135, 140, okay? You got to give him credit for that. At 147, he's average. Simple. Norman's naturally stronger, sturdier, and thicker built. This gives him major, major advantages. One is he won't be bullied by Devin in a clinch. He won't be pushed back easily, which Devin normally uses his jab to push people back. And I think the fact that Devin can't really hit, Norman will walk through Haney's lighter shots. And he'll be the one controlling the physical exchanges. So if Norman pushes Haney physically, he'll wear him down mentally. He'll wear him down emotionally. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you do when you're a superhero who goes by the name Tranquilize Man. You wear people down physically, mentally, emotionally, and you get knockouts. So the bottom line is, I just think one of the main reasons why Norman's going to win is Haney's going to be afraid to let his hands go. You can't win if you don't let your hands go. You got to be willing to let your hands go freely. Every time Haney opens up, Norman has the explosiveness to counter him. So there's a risk-benefit ratio, and it becomes way too high for Devin. Against fighters of real power, Haney sometimes throws safe, shallow punches. Safe punches don't earn respect. Without respect, Norman will keep coming. Shit creates a loop. Haney throws, Norman fires back, Haney becomes hesitant, Norman increases pressure, Haney retreats, Norman gets bolder, Haney shuts down. This is how upsets happen. Now Brian Norman Jr. tranquilizes Devin Haney. And as far as the corner, look, Norman's team is hungry, unified, ambitious. Haney corner is led by Beijing Bill Haney, often panics under pressure, offering emotional yelling instead of strategic adjustments because he doesn't know what to do. In a tough fight, corners matter. Norman's team will demand violence and discipline. Devin's corner is going to crumble if Norman is sustaining pressure and having success. So, it is what it is. Norman's got the momentum, right? Devin Haney does not. His momentum's been shaky since the Ryan Garcia fight. And then Norman just, confidence is rising sharply, he's getting big wins, the way he's knocking people out. I mean, these polar opposite trajectories matter over 12 rounds. When adversity hits, Norman is likely to rise. Haney's likely to question himself, and his corner's they're gonna break down. So we just gotta sit back and wait, man. I just think when you repeatedly get hit hard, I think it changes the fighter permanently. The nervous system remembers trauma. This is a fact, and I'm not making this up. The nervous system remembers trauma. Once they start to re-experience it and relive it, the body starts to shut down. Haney took some damage, man. I think Ryan Garcia accelerated Devin Haney's decline. I do. And I think Norman's fresher, hasn't gone through brutal wars. So I think the durability gap is something else that favors Brian Norman Jr. and could help to decide the fight. So for anyone out there who thinks I'm wrong because I'm saying Norman's going to stop Haney, look, Haney's chin, I think, is diminishing. I think his recovery's poor. He reacts badly to pressure, getting hurt. Norman doesn't. He's not a guy who wants to take a step backwards. He got real power at 147. And I'm not sure that Haney's legs and durability are reliable. So I just think Norman has a realistic chance to break Devin Haney down anyhow he chooses. And Norman winning a decision, I mean, even if Devin survives, Norman cannot work him if Devin's not throwing. Haney's not going to brawl. He's not going to throw a lot of shots. If Norman is out there throwing the more effective shots and the aggressive guy and he's trying to fight, I just think the moments are going to show, and the judges are going to reward the aggression. So it just looks like it's all Brian Norman Jr., you know what I mean? When you really sit back and look at this. I just don't see how Devin wins. I just don't. Anyway, when you take all factors together, durability, confidence, pressure, physicality, mental state, style matchup, and career momentum, Brian Norman Jr. has the clearer road to victory. Haney, he can win, don't get me wrong, but it will require perfection and emotional stability that he has not shown since the Garcia defeat. Norman simply has more than one way to win. Haney has fewer. He always talking about his toolbox, my toolbox. My man, you need to hit Brian Norman Jr. with the whole goddamn toolbox. Don't take a tool out. Hit him with the toolbox. Because them tools that Devin Haney has is not going to be enough. And I'm telling you, if Norman hurts him, the fight could become one-sided very quickly. Matter of fact, the shit could end off of one shot. This is why Brian Norman Jr. has a real chance to clip Devin Haney, and why many boxing analysts believe he will. But I've been saying it for the longest. I've never flip-flop on this one. I just don't see Devin Haney winning. Yeah, he's got some speed. He's got talent. Don't get me wrong. I just think too much is going on with him. I just don't think he can pull the trigger anymore. Anyway, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans, all 7 continents. Brian Norman Jr., a.k.a. Tranquilized Man. If he touch you, he will short-circuit you. And that's just the reality. You know what I'm saying? Y'all keep cool. Get ready to go live. Shout out to the veterans, all 7 continents. Yo, I'm in the breeze.